I'm about to provision AWS infrastructure using nothing but kubectl apply, no Terraform, no Pulumi, no CloudFormation, just Kubernetes manifests. That's exactly what Crossplane does, and in this video I'll show you how to set it up for multi-cloud deployments across AWS and Azure from a single cluster. Let's get into it. If you've been managing infrastructure, you've probably used Terraform, OpenTofu, Pulumi, or one of the vendor-specific tools like CloudFormation or Bicep. Crossplane, however, takes a different approach. You install it into your Kubernetes cluster, and then you use a YAML to declare your cloud resources in the same way that you would declare deployments or services. Behind the scenes, Crossplane uses the Kubernetes reconciliation loop to keep your infrastructure in the desired state continuously. You don't have any plan or apply cycle, and there is no state file. So right now, Crossplane is a CNCF graduated project. It has over 3,000 contributors, and companies like Nike, Autodesk, SAP, and IBM are using it in production. And now I know what you're thinking. No state file sounds risky, and you're right to question that. At scale, stateful workflows have proven themselves for IAC, and there is limited data on how stateless approaches are working in production right now. Before we get our hands dirty, let me walk you through some key concepts. So providers are plugins that connect Crossplane to your cloud. They are like Terraform providers. You have providers for AWS, Azure, GCP, and many more. And each of them has its own set of CRDs. Another important resource in Crossplane is managed resources, or MRs. These are the individual cloud resources, like a Terraform resource, so an S3 bucket, a VPC, a resource group. Each one maps one-to-one to a real cloud resource. Composite resources and compositions are where platform teams can abstract complexity. You define a simplified API with a composite resource definition, and a composition maps that API to one or more managed resources behind the scenes. Then we also have claims, which give teams a namespace scoped way to request infrastructure. So a developer will submit a claim. It creates a composite resource, which creates the underlying managed resources. This layered model is what makes Crossplane powerful for platform engineering as well. Now let's start getting our hands dirty, so I'll show you how to set it up. So right now I'm using my minikube cluster, and in this cluster I'm going to actually deploy all the Crossplane resources that will help me actually manage AWS and Azure resources. So you have this repository available in the video description. You have here the README that explains what you have to do, what steps you have to follow. But the first thing we have to do is actually install Crossplane in our cluster. So let's just copy these commands and run them. And you can see now that Crossplane was installed successfully, and in a couple of minutes this will be available. In the meantime, let's deploy our providers. So we have this providers.yaml file right here, and we are just configuring these two providers, one for AWS and the other one for Azure. So let's just do a kubectl apply -f providers.yaml. And we can see that both were created successfully. And now here comes the fun part. We have to actually create some secrets for our providers. So basically what we are doing here is we're creating a secret, and then we are referencing that secret in the provider config, as you can see right here. So what you'll have to do is actually replace these values with values from your tenancy, and then just apply the file per se. For AWS, this is pretty straightforward. You'll just add your access key ID, secret access key, and your session token if that's required. And of course, you can take these out of Vault or any secret management store that you have. For Azure, things are a little bit more complicated, and I'll walk you through what you have to do. So we have here in the README a command that we have to create. So we have to create a service principal, and to do that, you'll have to get your subscription ID from your Azure account. So the easiest way to find your subscription ID is by running the az-login command and logging into your Azure account, and then you'll see the subscription ID when the login ends successfully. I've already done this. I already have all this data, so you'll have to do it on your own. So after you log in, you're going to have the subscription ID. And basically, when you create this service principal, you will have a couple of details right here. So let's open this one to the side to make it easier to understand. So the service principal will have an app ID, and that app ID you'll have to paste here under your client ID. The password will actually be the client secret. The tenant ID is actually the tenant you will see in the service principal, and the subscription ID is the subscription ID you have used to log in. After you are done with modifying these two files, you can just apply them and you'll be good to go. You'll actually be able to create resources inside of your cloud accounts in both AWS and Azure. After you are done making the changes, you can apply the provider. So let's do AWS provider. And we can see this one was created successfully. And now let's apply the Azure one as well. And we can see this one has been applied successfully as well. I also have two resources prepared, an S3 bucket and an Azure Resource Group, so we can just go directly and apply these files as well. So kubectl apply -f resources.yaml. You can make whatever changes you want here. You will need to change the name of the bucket, of course, and change the name of the resource group to reflect something that will make sense for you. So let's apply it. And as you can see, the resources were created successfully. So now let's go to the cloud consoles and see them there. So now I'm in AWS, and you can see here my new bucket created just a couple of seconds ago. And let's go to Azure as well. And we can see the resource group created here as well. At scale, the big question becomes, how do you know what's actually deployed? So running kubectl commands across hundreds of resources gets painful really fast. And this is where Lens Kubernetes IDE can help. It picks up all the Crossplane CRDs automatically. You can see all your managed resources at a glance, filter them, click into any resource to see its specs, status, and conditions. If something fails during provisioning, you spot it in seconds instead of digging through terminal output. And in addition to that, Lens now also has an MCP server, so you can connect your AI assistant and ask questions like, what MRs are not in a ready state, and you'll get answers without leaving your editor. Crossplane is a powerful way to manage multi-cloud infrastructure natively from Kubernetes. It's not a replacement for Terraform in every scenario, but if you are Kubernetes first and want a GitOps native ISC workflow, it's absolutely worth exploring. If you found this useful, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.